Okay, so video number 2. Here we go. There's my little paint wheel. I've got these ivy leaves and maybe a little dandelion leaf as well. I've written the paints there again, which is Koh-i-Noor. The little Japanese paints I'm using, these ones here. Right, I'm going to start drawing these with a little bit of very light paint to get the outline. Right, let's have a look at this ivy to start with. I'm going to make it slightly smaller than my hand, but bigger than real life. Right. Now, what I'm going to start by doing is drawing the veins to start with. So that's the central vein, this one coming up here, and that one there, and then there's another little one like that. Then the stem goes over there. Okay, I'm going to now try and get the edge. I like to draw in paint rather than pencil. I don't always, sometimes use pencil. I think when you use pencil to start off, it tightens you up a little bit. You can rub it out and you can be a little bit more kind of tight and less loose, and I'm all about being a little bit loose with this. So there's my overall shape, quite happy with that. Right, the dandelion leaf, I don't know. Right, I'm going to just put that there, maybe put it down here, I've got a space there. Right, very faint amount of water. I'm going to put that across there. So, got the end coming here. Again, it's a very flowy way of drawing. Sort of almost, don't push your brush, just drag it. Now I've got these little shapes, nice delicate shapes here, and then it kind of lends itself to paint brushes. The shape of the dandelion leaf, those little blobs that we were doing in my last little lesson, kind of lend themselves to these shapes, sort of swoop off like that, like in a little tip. Okay, oh, that one sort of swoops off in a funny way. Okay, now I'm still using my blues and greens, the close colours. Might use another combination too, but let's start with these close colours to make it look sophisticated as we can. Right, I'm going to start with quite light green. What I'm going to use is another bit of paper here to mix my colours. I sometimes do this on the actual painting, but here I'm just going to, it's quite a bright green, it's not quite that bright, so I'm going to add a little touch of darker blue to it. Right, that's toned down that bright green into a darker green. Now I'm going to use that where I push down off to a tip. What I did last time, if you remember, I got lots of paint on my brush, darker blue there. I'm going to press the brush right down and then move off into a tip like that to get those edges. And really I'm going around the shape of that bit of the leaf there. Right, here we go. Let's do the main section of the leaf, this one up here. Back to my light green, then add a touch of blue to sort of knock it back a bit. And lots of paint and lots of water, wetty and painty. Now I'm going to start pressing my brush down and then just lift as I go to get to a kind of point up there. Alright, round again. Doesn't matter if you go over the edge. It's supposed to be kind of loose. to this side. This side I think is a bit darker, so I'm going to add a bit more blue. I'm going to actually now add a tiny, tiny touch of black to give that lovely dark. Oh, look, that's great. Maybe go back into a bit of green and get that lighter green to bleed in with that black. I like that. Yeah, I'm liking what I'm getting here now, that contrast of the darks and the lights. Let's do, I think on this side you've got some darker down there, so I'm going to go back for that darker, little tiny bit of black into that. So starting with a brush pressed down, and then I'm going to get a bit of green in there. Okay. Still darker on this side. So that is the brighter side of the leaf. This is the darker side. So that's the brighter side. This is the darker side. Bit of blue, bit of black. Pressing down, coming up to a tip. And last bit. This little edge here. Green in there, give it a bit more richness. Okay, I'm going to just get that nice stem shape going up there. I'm going to come back to that when it's a bit drier and put some little details of the veins in. Right, for now I'm going to go to my dandelion leaf. Right, this again, we've got some really lovely bright bits and then some darker bits. So I'm going to go for my bright green, that lovely bright green there. Now I said these almost follow our blob-shaped brush strokes from last time. So I'm going to, there's a nice bright green bit in there. So I push down and I just go with the flow. It doesn't matter if it's not very accurate, who's going to worry? We're getting the feel of it rather than the absolute botanical accuracy. Okay, this one's sort of going to go over there. This one goes over. I like this bit here, this bit that flops over. There we go. Or another floppy bit over. Okay. Now we're going to mix this green, not with the black or the blue. We're actually going to mix it with, you've got green here. The opposite colour of green is red. Now you'll find if you mix the opposite colour, just a little bit, with your main colour. So I've got a green and a red here. Gives me a kind of muddy, muted green, which I think is going to work well with the dark bits within there. You'll find that shadows, as we go along, are often a mix of the opposite colour. Can you see that's just working well? Right, so it's my green mixed with a touch of the opposite colour, red. So add a bit of that. I'm going to add some green on top. Right, a little touch of green on top of that. Okay, you're happy with that? Okay, I'm going to return to my ivy leaf now. I'm going to get some little dark bits of the bluey black. Just, they are white, but I'm going to I just want a little bit of detail in there. So I'm just going to follow a little bit of those lines. It's bleeding and I like that. So So I'm just getting a little bit of these lines. Those white lines in there. Not too much, and just only using the tippity tip end of your brush. Okay. There we go.